Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. My name is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. Today we have two wonderful guests with us here at City Hall. Julia Brunson, she's the Historic Georgetown Steering Team Community Leader, and Dr. Connie Lester, Associate Professor for the University of Central Florida History Department, as well as with the Riches Digital Archiving Project. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
We are talking about the Florida Emancipation Day event this Saturday in the city of Sanford, May 20th.
Yes.
We're so excited about this. Julia, take it away. What can we expect, and what can the listeners do to attend?
Our mission for Saturday is to teach and have people learn about the Emancipation Day. All of our activities are centered around what happened on May 20th, how we got the information about the emancipation. We want to talk about, let the children understand what that Negro National Anthem means. Who wrote the words? James Weldon Johnson out of Jacksonville. He and his brother did that. And we want the children to know, hopefully they know the words, but if they don't, we want to have them walk away with at least knowing the first stanza of it. So that's one of our things. And then we have other activities that will foster their learning experiences about Georgetown and themselves.
Yes, it sounds like it's definitely an educational event.
Yes, exactly.
And fun. It'll be fun at the same time.
Yes, we're going to have fun.
It's 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Hopper Academy, 1101 Pine Avenue in Sanford, Florida, this Saturday, May 20th. And so back to what is the title of the Black National Anthem? What is the title of that
It's the Negro National Anthem.
And it's called?
The Negro National Anthem.
It says, lift every voice and sing.
That's the first line.
Okay.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven rings. That's it. It's more
no more?
to it.
That's it? Okay.
Lines.
We'll have to wait till Saturday. So Mr. William Tillman, accompanied by the Seminole High School and Lyman High School Young Men of Excellence, will be part of the program.
Yes.
And there will be a Emancipation Proclamation presentation by the Union Brigadier General Edward M. McCook, portrayed by Mr. Alan Turnbull. That should be very interesting and educational.
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing. And then, of course, inspirational songs and stories from the community. Martha Sanders, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Martha is a storyteller in our community. And what she does is she really writes the stories herself. She has several that she has done on Miss Williams, one of the members of our church at Historic St. James AME Church. Miss Williams was, I believe, 9 years old when we moved into the building in 1913, and her father was a trustee. So for a long, long time, Miss Williams was the only person living that actually walked in that church for the first time.
Right, and we're talking about that beautiful historic church.
Of course, you can't talk about Georgetown without that.
Right.
Exactly. But it is, we're working on that. We should be having our roof pretty soon started up. But we also want to focus the 20th, the Saturday, on the Emancipation Proclamation. Why we even do it.
Right.
Why it's important. And I would imagine that almost everybody in that audience on Saturday will know or have some relative that was a slave. And when that Emancipation Proclamation came about. Right. I know my grandfather was.
So you want to talk a little bit about that?
I don't know him, and I haven't had time to do the research on him.
Okay.
But I remember my father told me he was 9 years old when the Emancipation Proclamation was read and delivered to the people in Florida. Other than that, I just know my grandfather's name, and I know where he lived, and That's about it.
Right. Well,
One
this
of
would
these
be
days.
in honor of your grandfather and other grandfathers too.
That's
I mean,
right.
to be able to read this proclamation and then to have this gentleman act as the general and read it will be very, I would say, poignant at the
Yes.
time of, but very, very poignant. So, Dr. Lester, you're working with our Sanford Museum to coordinate some history about this and make this program even better. Can you share some of the activities or the things that you'll be working with or have worked with?
We've worked with the Sanford Museum for a long time, and then began working with Julia in the Georgetown on her Georgetown project, and we have been collecting oral histories. So we did a history harvest back in October, and collected my class. I teach a class in U.S. economic history, and they came and did the oral histories. And couldn't say enough about the wonderful experience they had. So then in March, we were asked back to do the oral histories with the women who are being honored for the project that will be featured on Saturday called Mother Made Me. And so women in the community who had just wonderful stories to tell. And so we will have those on a loop, so you can listen to the stories, you can see and hear them. And we're coming back again in October to do another history harvest.
So can we just back up? So what, for those listening, what is an oral history? If people don't really know what that is, what does it encompass?
So an oral history is actually listening to someone tell their story.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. You usually, if possible, meet with them a little beforehand so you have a sense of the story they're going to tell. So you can give them prompts,
Right.
But it's not about the person. You're not really interviewing them. You are helping them tell their story. And we have, over the years, we've collected hundreds of stories, and every one is a treasure. Every single one is a treasure.
And this is the University of Central Florida working, the Riches Department.
The Riches Project.
Riches Digital Archiving Project. And so can we share some of the women that will be part of this Mother Made Me presentation?
We have, let's see, who do we have?
Martha Hardy Sanders was born in Georgetown. In fact, she was born at that maternity home.
Oh, really?
Yes. Betty Robinson, yeah. Crumity Robinson. She is one of the Mother Made Me. She too, born in Georgetown and grew up there. There are two others, I think. I can't remember them.
And what decade are we talking about? When were they growing up in Georgetown? What are we talking about here?
Oh, probably the 40s and 50s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Martha more in the 50s, and Betty would be more in the 40s. Yeah.
Okay. So, and this Mother Made Me presentation, these are going to be on a video loop, you're saying, at the event. And so when we're talking about the reading of the Emancipation Proclamation, we're also saying there's other things happening during this time. We're going to be at the Hopper Academy, and there's a lot of historic events, exhibits in the Hopper Academy. If you want to share what that building is, significant to Georgetown?
Yes, Hopper Academy was at one time the only school in Seminole County for blacks. And it was brought from 7th Street and Cypress Avenue, where the Elk building is now. They were in a building there. And someone got Professor Crooms to come to Sanford. And he opened the school, the Hopper Academy. It was a grade 1 through 6. And then when they graduated from there, they went to Crooms Academy. By this time, Professor Crooms and his wife had built Crooms Academy. So it was like the only place that we could get an education, 1 through 12. So that school has been in the neighborhood all that time. I don't know the exact year, but some of the early teachers worked there. Miss Montez Harris, down on her house is on 2nd Street between Cypress and Sanford Avenue, was one of the teachers there, original teachers. I think Miss Briggs were there. There were several of them, but that Harper Academy and Historic St. James AME Church were the focal places for blacks to meet, exchange information. If there was a meeting going to be held, it was either going to be at Harper, it was going to be at St. James. So that's the correlation between Harper Academy and Georgetown.
Yes, and the building is still standing strong this day.
Yes.
And there's been some renovations to that historic building. It's in use now, right?
Yes, it is in use, and last year they received a grant from the federal government, and so they're going to be finishing upstairs. And I hope that they will be able to get it done by next year when we have Emancipation Proclamation, because we got great plans for that building. They don't know about it yet, but that's what's going to happen. So yes, it is, and they're going to put an elevator in. I do know that.
Okay.
So we won't have to worry about stairs getting up. But a lot of things are happening at Harper, and we just encourage everyone to come out and help us and see what we're trying to accomplish.
Right. And so this is their steering committee. You're led by community leaders like yourself. Steering team led by community leaders like yourself.
Yes.
And so how can people get involved with your steering team? How do they
we meet on the fourth Thursday of each month, 10 o'clock at Harper. At Harper. AM, yeah.
At Harper, okay. And it's if people wanted to, if someone was listening and wanted to learn more and be part of it, and they can certainly do that or contact.
Yeah, they can look on our website. We have a website, a Georgetown website, and there are emails there where you can link, and someone will pick up the answer your email.
Yeah, and because they've been doing a lot in the community. I mean, so the street topper signs.
Yes.
All of that. There's a lot going on in the Georgetown community, which is really right in the heart of our downtown area. Also, people pass by it all the time.
That's right.
And it's been there for how many years are we talking about?
1870.
1870, the historic.
I keep asking people all these numbers. Where do I get these numbers from?
You're doing great, Julia. So there's going to be a lot of other things. There's children activities, bounce house, vendors, food, and let's see. There's going to be historic exhibits at the Hopper Academy. That sounds very educational. And so what's this Ride to Freedom? Can we talk about that?
That's the bicycle ride. I believe there are 3 levels: beginner, middle, and the really experienced riders, they do like 40 miles.
Okay.
So the times, if you go online and look at our website, and not website, but our Facebook page, and you'll see the times that they start. I think they're going to start out riding around 7:30 or so.
Okay.
From Harper. And there's going to be a whole bunch of activities and fun things for them to do. I do know that they will leave Harper. They'll go to Goldsboro, the Goldsboro Museum. They'll leave there, go to Altamont so that they can see the Rosenwald School.
The
Rosenwald School.
Okay. Can you share what that is?
I'm going to let Dr. Lester tell you about that one.
So we worked with Seminole County on the Rosenwald School project. The Rosenwald School was a school that was built in the early part of the 20th century. 1920s is usually when they were built. And they were constructed using a fund that was provided by Julius Rosenwald, who was president of Sears. He was also a trustee at Tuskegee Institute. And so he consulted with Booker T. Washington about the best way to have schools for black students in the segregated South. And he put up money. The community was expected to also put up some money for the school. Sometimes that came in fact, oftentimes it came from the black community itself. And they raised money in a lot of different ways. Cities and counties would sometimes put in some of the money, and sometimes they would have a white patron who would put in some money. But the schools were built using specific plans, and they ranged from 2 classroom schools all the way to much larger schools. If you've ever seen one Rosenwald school, you know exactly what it looks like.
Really?
And the school in Altamont Springs burned in the early 1960s. And so they rebuilt it. So it's not the original school. They rebuilt it. And they stopped using the school not in the 2010, I think, somewhere along about there. And now they want to use the building but repurpose it and build around it to do other things.
I see.
And so back in the spring, they were having a day for people who had attended that school to come and give their oral histories. And we will have those oral histories available too.
Okay.
And it was really a very interesting day. People gave their oral histories, then they stood around and talked, and had some of the most interesting stories to come out of that. We also had some people, because it was integrated in the 60s, and we had some people who came who were the first group of white students to go to that school, and it was interesting to talk to them as well.
Well, thank you for that explanation. And so they're going to stop there, the bike riders,
and
then
the last stop will be Eatonville. And you know that's the black town, and they will be at each of these stops. They'll be met with someone who will give them a summary history of the town or the museum or what have you, and then they'll come back to Harper. And I believe that at some point they'll get lunch or snacks and stuff like that. The bike leader down on, what is it?
Bicicleta.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, well, anyway, they are the ones that are getting the bicycle people together.
Right.
So if you want to ride, of course, you contact them, and they will get you all set up so that you can ride 40.1 miles.
Yeah, I think you can choose to either do 12, 25, or 41. But this is the second annual. Yeah, it says register with Bicicleta for their second annual Ride to Freedom bike event. And so you get exercise and education at the same time, which is pretty cool. That's great. All right, so this is this Saturday, May 20th, 12 to 3 p.m. Meet at Hopper Academy, 1101 Pine Avenue, Sanford, Florida. Is there anything else that we need to say? It's free, right? There's going to be a lot of children. It's an educational event, a lot of children.
And also, we have vendors who will be there. They'll bring their wares, and of course, they'll have them for sale. But this is the thing where we don't make any money. The vendors just come and they set up, and they enjoy the day also. Don't forget about the food vendors. We have we have two food vendors, and then a coffee latte vendor, something like that.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds great.
Running out of time, huh?
Well, I was going like that because I want to hear more about what food vendors you have. Now that we're running out of time.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm spinning my finger here. Everyone who's listening.
We got one food vendor who will be doing fried fish and French fries, and then another food vendor that will do hamburgers, chicken, and hot dogs. And then the coffee wagon will do coffee, lattes, and whatever that other stuff is.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah, so it's larger than what we did last year, and we're thankful for that because we want this to grow every year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Is there any, Dr. Lester, anything that you'd like to add to this episode about this event?
Well, I'm so happy to be coming and happy to be a part of it, and so glad that Julia made us a part of it.
Yes, what a great partnership with the City of Sanford, the historic Georgetown steering team, and the University of Central Florida History Department.
Yes, there's one other thing I want to say before we leave. We could not do this without the cooperation and the assistance and support of our city preservation planner, Julie Schofield.
Oh, sure.
And also, I got to do a pitch for the mayor. The mayor is fantastic. He really
Mayor Art
is.
Woodruff, we're talking about.
Yes, he does
City of Sanford.
everything for us, and he reminds us of things we ought to do. So I'm real happy that we got a good team going here.
Yes, and so also this is in District 2. Commissioner Carrie
Yeah.
S. Wiggins.
Forgot
Senior.
about
Commissioner Wiggins
Carrie.
will be a big part of this event.
And he'll be there Saturday. He'll be dumping trash cans and all the other things that they
Okay.
do.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
thank you for that. And thank you, Commissioner Wiggins, Mayor Art Woodruff, and Julie Schofield, who is the City of Sanford's historic preservation planner and does a great job with all kinds of events like this as well.
Yes.
As in sort of behind the scenes, right? What else?
One other thing, since the last time we talked, Georgetown has a preservation ordinance.
Okay.
Yes, that's big news.
It is.
Nobody now can go into Georgetown and tear a house down just because they don't like it.
Right.
They got to come through Julie Schofield.
Well, I think that's pretty awesome because you talk about this neighborhood is 1870s and so,
Yes.
and these homes need to be restored just like any other, neighborhood here in
Yes.
Sanford. And
Yes.
so that was a big, huge
We
accomplishment.
worked on that a whole year, so
Yes.
that's a good one.
That I would clap my hands for that one because that was really, and Julie,
Thank
of
you.
course, yes. So congratulations on that. Definitely. All right. Well, there you have it. We're talking about the Florida Emancipation Day event this Saturday, May 20th, right here in the beautiful city of Sanford. Stop by. You can learn more about it on the city's Facebook page. We have the flyer up there, and then the steering committee, Georgetown Steering Committee, has their own Facebook and website as well
Yes,
for more
we have a
information.
Georgetown steering team Facebook page.
Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, follow us and get more information, but we should see you out there Saturday. Should be good weather. Not expecting. We live in Florida. We don't know, but
It's good.
yeah, it's a great time of the year to hold this, obviously, for a very good reason. All right. Well, thanks for being on the show, Dr. Lester and Julia Brunson. It's been a pleasure. This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode, and you can subscribe to your favorite podcast wherever you listen to your podcast and on the city website at sanfordfl.gov. Thank you. See you Saturday. Bye now.